Coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios, this is Prime News on SABC 3. Here are the top stories making headlines.
I'm advised that I will proceed. I'm proceeding, but I must note or indicate rather that I do so under protest, Chair.
Suspended Deputy National Police Commissioner for Crime Detection, Lieutenant General Cradock Four, says he's participating in the ad hoc committee investigating allegations raised by KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Ntantram under protest. The Madagascar Commission's evidence leaders have submitted 4 reasons to support the request that the next witnesses scheduled to appear before the committee be permitted to do so in camera.
They've already started with the work of investigating, and they've reassured us that within the next 48 hours, they will be giving us preliminary report.
And Limpopo Premier Poppy Ramathuba has visited the injured from the horrific bus crash in Limpopo that has claimed the lives of 42 people and left 45 others injured. It has just gone 8 o'clock Central African time. This is Prime News on 3 with myself, Paulette Nell. Good evening and a warm welcome. Let's get straight into it. We begin with this tonight. Suspended Deputy National Police Commissioner for Crime Detection, Lieutenant General Cradock Four, says he is participating in the ad hoc committee investigating allegations raised by KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Ntantram under protest. He has cited a potential conflict of interest by MK Party MP David Skhosana as he had laid a criminal complaint against Four with the police.
Participating under protest, Four has raised concerns about the potential bias of MK Party MP David Skhosana.
There was a discussion that was actually being discussed in relation to the concern that we raised in relation to one of the honorable members in relation to his participation in these proceedings, considering the fact that the honorable member is a complainant in a member that led to a search and seizure at my house, and at the same time I have to come and account before the same parliamentary member as well. As far as I'm concerned, there's a conflict of interest.
Members were also divided on whether Skhosana should recuse himself or not.
Skhosana is not a witness before this committee. He went to the police on behalf of the MK Party, not on behalf of his family, not on his behalf.
We are allowed to proceed now with Honorable Skhosana in attendance, while we allow them to go and look at the matter and advise us whether there are any legal grounds for him to be recused.
After consultation with his lawyers, Four gave oral evidence under protest.
I'm advised that I will proceed. I'm proceeding. But I must note or indicate rather that I do so under protest, Chair, in case at the ultimate end, because I will be participating in a process that I believe could be tainted.
DAMP Lisa Shikaling has also recused herself from the ad hoc committee, citing a police complaint she had laid against Four. Ulelani Philip, SABC News, Parliament.
The Madagascar Commission's evidence leaders have submitted 4 reasons to support the request that the next witnesses scheduled to appear before the Commission be permitted to do so in camera in the presence of commissioners and evidence leaders only. The evidence leaders argue in papers that the evidence is of a sensitive nature. Their reasons include the personal safety of certain witnesses, the protection of ongoing criminal investigations, and the protection of investigative methods and operational security, as well as the protection of informants and confidential sources. The evidence leaders further submitted that it is in the interest of justice, the safety of witnesses, and the integrity of the Commission's work that the hearing of the evidence of witnesses scheduled for the 13th October to the 22nd October 2025 take place in a closed session. They argue that this will ensure that witnesses can testify fully and frankly, which serves the Commission's mandate more effectively than risking the loss of critical evidence through the fear of exposure. The application is opposed by News 24 and Daily Maverick. To this now, Limpopo authorities are investigating the horrific bus crash that claimed the lives of 42 people and left 45 others injured. The bus driver lost control and the bus overturned at the Chambudzi Valley and a mountainous stretch on the N1 near Luitregat yesterday afternoon. The bus was traveling from Cradock in the Eastern Cape en route to Zimbabwe and Malawi.
Premier Dr. Popera Matuba visited the scene of the accident and met with the road crash investigating team. Following a briefing on the bus crash, she said the investigating team is expected to release a preliminary report within 48 hours. She says with the bus traveling from the Eastern Cape, fatigue could have been the possible cause of the crash.
They've already started with the work of investigating, and they've reassured us that within the next 48 hours, they will be giving us preliminary report. However, by looking at and receiving the reports that we have, we cannot shy away from the fact that there are some areas which we think could have resulted into this road accident.
The 6-9-seater bus was allegedly overloaded, carrying 91 passengers, including a driver.
We do have our weighbridge stations since from that side up until where we are. We do have traffic officers who were on duty. So for each station, the Minister of Transport is coming here. We will have to together understand who was on duty for each station when this bus passed. Why was it not stopped? If it was stopped, why did you allow it to pass?
45 occupants survived the crash. 26 have been admitted to hospitals, while others were treated and discharged. The process of identifying the deceased is expected to start on Wednesday. Rutendo Bobori, SABC News, Chambudzi.
Welcome back. Let's continue with this. Muzi Sibia, accused number 1 in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, has denied that he made admissions to lead investigator Brigadier Bongani Gininda or any other officer about the killing of the soccer star. Surprisingly, Sibia took to the stand at the High Court in Pretoria, where it was expected that the defense would call its first witness.
After several weeks of postponement, the High Court in Pretoria was expecting to hear from the defence's first witness, but there was an about turn. Instead, Muzi Sibia, accused number 1 in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, took the stand, detailing how he was first arrested in 2019 and assaulted.
Then the police, they then asked me as to what is it that I know about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. I then replied by saying I have no knowledge about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. Then one of them then informed me that I should stop playing with them because they know that I do have a hand about the death of Senzo Meyiwa together with my friends. So I should not play dumb with them. I should just tell the truth. As I was leaning against the wall, seated on the air chair, that is where he then kicked me on my legs and I then fell down.
He says he was again smothered.
I was kicked in one of my legs and then I then fell down. As I fell down, they then covered my face with a plastic. Some of them, they were kicking me with their foot.
Sibia says he was then taken to Vosloorus in a municipal area and again assaulted and a plastic placed over his face that he was unable to breathe. Sibia continues on the stand. Criselda Lewis, SABC News at the High Court in Pretoria.
Academic activities have been halted at the University of the Free State in Bloemfontein amid ongoing protest by students over the cancellation of provisional registration. Students mobilized from 10 p.m. on Sunday night and shut down the campus. Meanwhile, others have also gathered outside the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court to support 6 students who appeared on charges of malicious damage to property and public.
The 6 students, aged between 19 and 24, were arrested in the early hours of Saturday. Police confirmed that the arrest came after they threw a self-made petrol bomb at the guardhouse on Gate 2 of the university. They were granted free bail by the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court. Students have, however, debunked the charges, saying there is no damage to any property on the campus.
We are here as students as well as political organizations to support the mandate, because we know that this is based on Vision 130, which is built on anxieties of white people. Cut off black students.
At the center of the student protest is a decision by the University of the Free State to scrap provisional registration, which many students see as the final lifeline to accessing higher education.
As MKSM, we would like to call out to South Africa to say they should look out for UFs, because now UFs is very apartheid. It has this racism inside them.
Students say the university is also showing its hand by bringing private security, which allegedly harassed them on campus. The situation was calm on campus throughout Monday. The university has tabled 4 points that give students with historical debt options to register from next year. It says those with NSFAS funding can register for free irrespective of historic debt. Kamagelo Siekwi, SABC News in Bloemfontein.
Bulelo Goniwe, nephew to the late Matthew Goniwe, is the first witness to take the stand at the second sitting at the Cradock Four inquest in Gqeberha. Bulelo fought right alongside his uncle against the apartheid regime and spoke about all the structures the Cradock Four put in place to revolutionize the country. The inquest seeks to determine whether anyone can be held liable for the deaths of political activist Fort Chalata, Matthew Goniwe, Sicelo Mhlauli and Spero Mkhonto, collectively known as the Cradock Four.
The second session proved to be just as emotional as the first. Bulelo Goniwe took the stand, saying his uncle was a father figure and a friend.
See, it's a role that he embraced fully. He remained a role model that all of us and most of us wanted to be like him.
When members of the Cradock Four were at the forefront of the struggle, Bulelo was right next to them.
Almost on a daily basis, there would be cars that passed by, there would be Caspers, there would be police, not only in that homestead, even all of these activists, main targets in that whole scenario being Matthew and Fort.
He said the death of the slain activists left a hole in the Cradock community.
They were left behind, but they themselves could not do work in any effective way because these structures collapsed. That was the amount of disruption that occurred in our structures.
Bulelo will take the stand again tomorrow. Kim Daniels, SABC News, Gqeberha.
Thank you for staying with us. To this now, Madagascar's President Andry Rajoelina has reportedly fled the country. This as Malagasy citizens are growing increasingly disillusioned with his government. Last month, he dissolved his government and fired his prime minister, but said they would continue working until he replaced them. As protests continued, with the citizens calling for Rajoelina to step down, claiming without providing evidence that external organizations, aid agencies and foreign countries were bankrolling the movement, motivated by designs on Madagascar's valuable mineral resources. He further mentioned he was ready to listen to protesters' grievances and open up a national dialogue, but ignored calls for his resignation. On October 11th, protesters were escorted by the military. And yesterday, Madagascar's CAPSAT military unit announced it was taking command of the nation's armed forces. Madagascar's presidency said Rajoelina was slated to address the nation later on today after losing the support of a key army unit that joined the youth-led protests. But earlier today, news broke out that Rajoelina had left the country. A military source saying that Rajoelina flew out of the country on a French military aircraft on Sunday. And in your sports news this evening, South Africa will be hoping to exorcise the ghost of 2012 when they host Rwanda at the Mbombela Stadium in Mpumalanga tomorrow evening. During the 2012 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers against Sierra Leone, Bafana players celebrated when they thought they had qualified for the AFCON tournament, only to discover it was not the case. Bafana's chances of qualifying for the 2026 FIFA World Cup in the Americas are hanging by a thread because Benin are on top of Group C. Even with a victory, it might not be guaranteed qualification for the global showpiece.
During the 2012 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers under coach Pitso Mosimane, Bafana players celebrated in what was called an infamous dance of shame at the Mbombela Stadium. Bafana drew their final qualifier against Sierra Leone and thought it was enough to take them through, as they had a superior goal difference compared to Niger, only to be told after those celebrations that they did not qualify. Bafana captain Ronan Williams hopes they will bury the ghost of 2012 at the same venue.
Maybe now it's time to right our wrongs from so many years ago, because people still mention that, and that is something that sits with Bafana will probably be there forever. So hopefully tomorrow we can rewrite the script.
Bafana lost their only match against Rwanda in the qualifiers before they forfeited the Lesotho match by 3 points and 3 goals after fielding an ineligible Teboho Mokoena. Qualification is not in Bafana's hands. Bafana coach Hugo Bros says they must make sure they beat Rwanda and hope the result in the other match go their way.
If tomorrow we don't do what we have to do, and that is having a good performance, not winning the game, and see that Benin is not winning the game either in Nigeria. That should be the worst scenario we can imagine.
Although Rwanda are out of the running to qualify for the World Cup, Bros admits that Bafana still have to be wary of them. Their match will kick off at 6 p.m. and will be broadcast live on SABC 3. Vincent Sitsura, SABC News.
We're going to have to leave it here for tonight. Much gratitude for joining us. We now leave you with the latest weather forecast. For now, it's good night. God bless. Pula.
Good evening and welcome. Let's take a look at what to expect weather-wise for tonight as well as tomorrow. Fine to partly cloudy conditions across most parts of the country. We do expect some isolated showers and rain over the southern parts of the country. That's the Western Cape into parts of the Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, and the central and eastern parts of Mpumalanga. It will, however, be scattered along the southern coastline of the Eastern Cape into the adjacent interior. Tomorrow, starting off with early morning fog patches along the escarpment of KwaZulu-Natal. Otherwise, fine conditions over the central as well as the northern parts of the country. It will be partly cloudy over the southwestern, southern, the eastern parts of the country, and that's with isolated showers and rain in places becoming showers and thunder showers over the eastern interior. South African Weather Service warning of high fire danger conditions. That's for tomorrow over the eastern parts of the Northern Cape into the Free State, the extreme northeastern interior of the Eastern Cape, and over the northern parts of Limpopo, and that is where runaway fault fires are possible. So please do take caution in those regions and do not cause any unnecessary fires. Overnight temperatures in Bloemfontein down to 4 degrees in Sutherland, 13 in Cape Town. Tomorrow peaking at 22. It will be a cool day as well in George with 22, 24 in East London. Bethlehem a maximum of 29. Johannesburg peaking at 28. It will be hot in Mahikeng with 33. Very hot in Musina with a maximum of 36. While on Wednesday expecting a fine day over the southwestern part of the country, otherwise partly cloudy conditions with isolated showers and thunder showers over the northeastern as well as the eastern parts. That's your weather. To stay tuned.